I say, you know what, Turab, you work your ass off, right? Might as well actually get what you feel you deserve out of this life because it's not guaranteed. What I'm about to show you is the Edge of Eternity's booster box that I bought online. And I'm going to open this guy up. I'm going to go through some of the things that I see. For those of you that don't know, I have a hard time opening boxes. I was going through Dan Martell's book, Buy Back Your Time, and he was talking about the investment quadrant. And for a long time, I thought that, you need to have a lot more energy invested in just producing to get shit done. What he calls it, GSD. And these hobbies and the things that I like to do, I was having a hard time rationalizing holding on to them. And the issue with that is, obviously, dude, do you live to work or work to live? I think it's a bit of a catch-22 because ideally, the work that you do in life is something that you love enough that it is part of why life is satisfying to you. So whenever I think about, hey, am I going to take this Saturday or this Sunday or these hours of Saturdays and Sundays to actually just enjoy my life, I say, you know what, Turab, you work your ass off, right? Might as well actually get what you feel you deserve out of this life because it's not guaranteed. And I lost sight of that, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that when death doesn't happen. This is Edge of Eternities. For those of you that don't know, Magic releases basically these sets once every month, 2 months, something like that. And I just like opening packs. So these are 32 packs that come in a booster box. I think this thing ran me like 180 bucks. So I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna show you some of the cool cards that come through it. But we're also gonna talk about life in the process. So the hobbies, guys. Hobbies are so important. If I didn't have my hobbies of music and painting and magic and I guess inspiring people and taking on mentees and stuff like that, I don't think my business would be doing nearly as well. I don't think my personal life would be doing nearly as well. And at the end of the day, we really got to take that stuff seriously. There's nothing quite like it. So this is what came in the booster box, which is pretty sick. It's just the different types of guys that are here. So we got a Sunstar, Elovia, Monostis, Kav, and the Illuminants. Oh, I actually got the Humidians. We got Var, Drix, and Esteli, whatever the hell this means. Magic has a really deep lore, which is sick, because I'm always into that. For those of you that also don't know, I used to be a dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons for like 2 years. I ran like 2 different campaigns. I had my brother in one of them. I had some random people that I'd found in another one. It was a lot of fun, and I built my own world. It was called Kafar, and had this whole story of angels and demons and some really interesting mechanics that I basically built all the items. I did all the sketching out for the missions and created a lot of abilities for the NPCs to keep up with these super overpowered characters. And I'd also kill my characters off often to remind them, don't get too attached. I guess it's something that I've picked up in life by virtue of experiencing loss. So, you kind of do what you can, keep that creative muscle going. I think it's a very important part of why I find my job enjoyable, because I get to actually spend some of those resources in doing things that are fun, like freaking opening booster packs for Edge of Eternities. So this video is partially also to explain the importance of hobbies, actually using them as creative muscles or building your creative muscle. I also order cards from time to time for decks that I'm making. These come in occasionally too, get a little dopamine hit. Am I fond of my addiction? No, but at the end of the day, I'm human, and that's worth admitting to yourself every now and then, I think. We're gonna open the first booster pack from Edge of Eternities, Magic the Gathering. Got Brave Blade Heavy, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If they do, you create a lander token. That's nice. Whenever enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent until an opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. I think this is actually an older card. Sammy's Curiosity. You gain 2 life and create a lander token for 1 green. Engraved as a pretty decent card. Sacrifice another artifact or land, draw a card. That's cool for putting lands in the graveyard. Let's see, we have Decode Transmissions. You draw 2 cards and lose 2 life for 3. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, instead you draw 2 cards and each opponent loses 2 life. That's cool. So basically flicker effects are useful here. When this equipment enters attached to a target creature, equipped creature gets +2/+1 in reach. Equipped for 5. Oh, Jesus. Oh, here we go. The first spacecraft. Whenever this spacecraft enters, you create a robot. You give it flying and first strike. I actually usually try to sort these out individually, but I'm here creating this video, so I will show you the legit thing later. Convoke. Destroy target creature. Convoke is you can tap creatures. Alright, we're starting to get into our rares. I think that's what they're called. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 2/2 robot. And you can warp this. Cool. Whenever another artifact you control enters, create a 2/2 robot. This ability triggers only once each turn. For 5 mana, you got a 4/4. How about that? You get some 2/2 robots though. Oh, here we go. First dope planet land. These are apparently going to be worth a lot of money later, so I'm kind of excited about that. Just tapped, add green for each creature you control. If you tap 12, this is pretty cool. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature, activate a sorcery. That's alright. We got a land and we got a lander token. Cool. First pack, we got it. Awesome. I'm happy about that. I like the idea of having planets as lands. That's pretty cool. Got a robot lander. Back of this is another robot. I also really like oh, we got a drone. Okay. Death touch 1/1 for 1. Solid artifact creature. 1 less during your turn. Tap target artifact or creature and draw a card. Okay. This creature enters with a 1/1 counter for each other creature and or artifact you control. That could be a useful little guy. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature and controls. It carries reach, trample, indestructible at the end of the turn. And tap it. So a little bit of protection, a little bit of ramp, or a little bit of boost. When this artifact enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Alright, well, I will continue this escapade later.